Man, dudes ain't making songs like that no more. Like talking about how a girl really make them feel.
That's because y'all don't be making us feel like how y'all used.
Damn. See, my response to that is that they haven't experienced me, so they don't know.
They don't.
Fuck around and write a song about me.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves. And this is episode 174. Or should I say 174?
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour,
Hello,
baby.
and welcome everybody yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I'm your girl, Claudia Renee, and I am joined by my co-host, Hav 600 in the building. Let's make some noise for Hav.
Let's do it. We are here. New week. Blessed to be here. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share with a friend, another friend.
Gang,
your
gang.
Mama, all this stuff. They need this ambition.
I know that's right. I do want to say we are dropping the episode a day late, but it's okay.
I'm going to be late for that.
In true Gemini form.
Shout out Kanye. We don't talk about Kanye.
In true Gemini form, I'm dropping the day after, but it's all good. We're kind of back on like Dub Saturdays. So shout out to that. So thank you to everybody who's tuning in, who's been patient for us. I know the past couple of episodes, we're trying to be more consistent. We'll get a little bit more into that a little later. But we have to start the episode how we always start it. And I want to go ahead and go first for saying what I am grateful for. Every episode, we start the episode with gratitude. So I'm going to share what I am grateful for. Something that I'm extremely grateful for is the men in my circle. The men in my circle are amazing. Like every single last one of them. I can't even name names because I don't want to leave anybody out. But just if you know, you know. Like if you know that you're in my circle and you're a man, like I just want to say that I appreciate you because a lot of you have always like encouraged me and have believed in me and have been on the podcast or have played a big part in, you know, some of my growth and always acknowledge it. So I just want to say thank you. So yeah, what are you grateful for, Hav?
Man, you kind of stole mine. Well, mine was going to be friendship. And, you know, friendship, the people that I'm around, you know, just bouncing off ideas, feelings, mindsets, you know, being able to be there for your friends too.
Yeah.
You know, like just that. And yeah, that's really what I'm grateful for. I really can't say enough about that. And that's important, you know?
It truly is. I do believe we always try to talk about this, about people who you're surrounding yourself with. Sometimes you feel like you may be surrounding yourself with the right people, but sometimes you have to open your eyes and kind of like reevaluate where it is that you are, who you're around, etc. Sometimes the people around you don't always have the best interest. And trust me, you will know the difference. I know now I know the difference. So that's why I'm able to say that I'm grateful for these people because I know the difference. It's very different when you feel the real thing. So I do want to start with some new music because we got some new music this week. Mm-hmm. The new music that I listened to was the Ty Dolla $ign and Division album.
$.
Super good. First of all, I love Division. We've seen Division in concert and I love Ty Dolla $ign. Would love to see him in concert as well. I was actually listening to his last album, the featuring Ty Dolla $ign album, which is so good. And I was listening to it the other day and then I knew they were going to come out with a project, but then Hav said it and I was just like, thanks for kind of reminding me because it does drop tomorrow. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. So, of course, it was the first album that I listened to this morning. And I really liked it. One of the things that I noticed was some of the samples. I like the samples that they used. I felt like they used them very smart. Because there's some people who use the beats, who sample the beats. And it's kind of like they don't make it their own kind of thing, you know? And I feel like they sampled these songs and made them into something that they would be on. And I think that was really dope. Like one of my favorite samples that they used was Slow Motion by Juvenile. they sampled that song, and it was just
That's a great song. That's a great beat.
Yeah, it was like, but it was like a subtle part of the song that you heard in the beginning that you knew that was kind of like the vibe. And then they ended the song with like that outside keep them hoes sick. I'm like, and that's kind of like how they end the song. So I like that, and I love how they did that. I actually, guys, listen, I'm trying to get better so I can share the names of songs and shit. It's called Fight Club, the name of that song. So that was a song that I really liked. Hold on, because now I'm lost in the albums. Okay, Division. Okay, it's coming, guys. But another one that they sampled was Freak Me Baby. Let me think. Hold on, because now I'm not sure that's the song. I'm gonna have to play it real quick.
Oh shit, man! They got Mac Miller on this album too.
Yeah, that was Yeah, it is Freak Me Baby. That was the first song that they dropped from this project. That's kind of how we knew that the project was coming.
I did hear that song. Now that you.
Yeah, and then also this song was actually recorded before Mac died, so this wasn't like a verse that they had or anything like that. That they just put on the song. This was actually like Mac heard this type of thing. You know, we've been talking about how like some of these things like the artists like probably didn't even know, because it's like on a, you know, it's on a hard drive somewhere that, you know, somebody ended up finding, and then they ended up selling it to Division. And no, it was kind of like, no, he like knew and did his thing on the beat. So that was a good song. Some of the features that they have is YG, Mac Miller, and the third one is by a Spanish artist. Let me see if I can see his name real quick. I always forget it. His name is Raul Alejandro. Sorry, Apple Music was being slow. So Raul Alejandro. I want to say that he's a guy that I've been listening to lately. Let me double check if that's who I think it is. But yeah, so they have him in a song, and of course it starts in Spanish. So you already know what kind of vibe is going to come from that song and kind of like where they're going. And then, of course, the dad of the girl that they're talking about is a mariachi, and the mom works at a club, and like all of this shit. And I was just like...
That shit sound like a movie.
Like, let it be a Division and Ty Dolla song. Then, yeah, I love this guy. He has this song that I really like. He is this song. I don't know if you've heard it, Hobbs. Let me see. Let's see if it plays. No, it's not going to play.
Apple Music is really trying to stop the kids.
I know, they're not letting me be great today, but I guess maybe it'll play. But yeah, so pretty much like they have him on that album, on that song, and the name of that song is, I lost it again because I'm doing way too much. Oh, that's me. So this is this guy. I heard this song of his, and I was like, what the heck? What is this? I love this. And so when I heard him, I saw his name on the song, I was really excited. So that's a good song. Another one that they have is called Outside. And something that I like is that they kind of like did a play on the quarantine, and cuz the song says like that they were inside like all this time, and now he's supposed to be outside of her. So that's kind of like how the chorus kind of goes. So I like that because like it's like a wordplay, and I love a good wordplay. So that was a good song. That one that one's called Outside. And then there's another one. Hold on. Fight Club. Somebody can't. The YG song is a really good one too. But I love YG. So.
How are the interludes? I didn't hear the album.
The thing is that I'm trying to remember the interludes. Like, I just, there's like some songs that like specifically that I know. And then there's like this one bar that they say that it's like, even if you had a twin, I'd still choose you. And then that had me really thinking this morning when I was listening to that song. I was just like, what does that even mean? And it's because it's like, oh, because it's not about looks, not about how you look. It's because it's just you. Like, you're the one for me, girl. But something that because I was talking earlier, because we were listening to Outstanding before the episode started. And in Outstanding, like, he's like talking about how this girl knocks him out, and like, how he's singing, and then the bridge, and then the riffs that he goes into, and then the baritone in the background, and just like an amazing song, right? So I'm like, they don't make, like, you know, men aren't talking to women like that. So Hav said, well, men aren't making women feel that way. And then a perfect example is like, you got two dudes who kind of low-key make like a little bit toxic R&B. Am I right with that, Hav?
We could say.
Yeah, like Division, I feel like just a little bit. I love both of them. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, and so for them to like, because they're a little bit more like in your face. Like even like that bar, like, you know, we were inside this whole time and now you want me to be outside of you. It's kind of like, ooh, you know. It's a little bit more risque of R&B. So I did say most of my favorite songs. I also like the YG one. He talks there like, he says in his verse, he says, if they only fuck once a week, he thinks you're cheating. Do you agree with that? Because that's what I like about some albums is that sometimes people say certain things that just kind of like spark something in you that you're just like, what?
I mean, I don't think that they're cheating. I mean, it's also the lifestyle that YG lives probably causes for that, or at least allows that time for that, you know, for such things. No, I mean, when I'm in a but also I'm, you know, before Drake, I was certified lover boy out in these streets. So like, you know, like,
let them know how.
You know, one woman man, you know, I understand it's a busy week sometimes, you know, we can't get to it, even though, you know, so, but
I'm a one woman man. You need to understand. Oh, come on, how finish the bar.
You got that one, killer?
No, I don't. I just took yours and then told you to keep going.
You know, so you know, I guess I understand, or, you know, girls have their period also, you know, the YG, that's the thing. But again, that's his lifestyle. I don't know if it's too much. It could be a flex bar, but I don't doubt it because shit, you know, it's YG, you know.
Yeah, gotta love a Compton man. He's from Compton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is like this is lifestyle, not that like YG is this guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Well, I mean he could be back Kaylani, so like. You know, maybe
while he had a baby mama and not just had a baby. Wild man. All right, so let me give you guys my rating on this album.
Shout out YG though.
Yeah, I feel like I've been giving, I don't know if I've just been so too nice, or maybe it's because I just talk about the albums that I like, so they're gonna get high ratings. So
yeah, duh. We're not gonna talk about the ones we didn't listen to or don't like.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely give it a 9 because it was a breath of fresh air.
A 9.
Yeah.
Following up last week.
Yeah. I was going to say a 9.5, but then that kind of like puts him a little close to the Tyler, and it wasn't like that.
So, bam, there you have it, a 9.
I kind of want to change my rating for the Snoh album, though.
Thank you so much for mentioning that because I do want you to talk about that. Go ahead.
I have to change it to a 10 because, listen... I love that album so much. It is like, it has consumed my life for like 2 weeks.
It's slowly becoming one of those albums that Claudia listens to that I know, but I never heard it, but I just know it.
Because I'm playing it so much. I think
That's like Cole and Hailey level right there.
Yeah,
Tyler level right there.
We listened, what was it? We
reviewed it, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
well,
probably. I think that was a little bit longer than that because it was one of the first episode that kind of
came
back.
out. Yeah, it's almost a whole month. It was July 9th that it came out, so we at least either did it that week or the. You know,
so after. And to me, it's just for some reason like I just kept wanting to revisit it. And especially because I talked about it on the show. So I like revisited it. And then there was this one song that like I just loved so much. It's called Everything, guys. So it's not called Everything, guys. It's called Everything, period. And it is just such a beautiful song. Like, I don't understand like what this woman like has gone through or like how she feels. But like I am feeling everything that she is saying. Like Tangerine Dream still is my favorite song, but that song Everything, like I've been saying it on my Instagram, that song's gonna get played at my wedding. So there you have it. So had to revisit it and you know review because it is that good.
So hey, we gotta revise the review.
I didn't even realize like how much I liked it until Hav was just like, you kind of really like that Snoh project, don't you? And it's probably because I had heard it. Like, I was listening to it a lot, probably within that day, right? Is that why you said that?
Well, that and I heard it a couple of times, like just for a couple of days, like in a row. I was just like, damn. So like, because I know, like, I want to say you probably gave it a 7 or maybe an 8.
I want to say I gave
like
it an 8.
Yeah, because I don't think we've gone as low as 7 on any of the reviews yet. But yeah, so I was just like, damn, I think you like it a little bit more, because even when like you were saying it, and it was around that time that it was just out, and kind of everyone wanted to compare it to her first project, or so it looked like you liked it a little bit more than I heard you say. So
yeah,
on the pod,
I felt like I enjoyed it because I wouldn't have talked about it. I feel like that strongly when I talked about it, or even given it an 8, because I did enjoy it because of some of the standout songs, like In Your Eyes and like Tangerine Dreams, and like those 2 songs were like standout songs to me. And I remember feeling like I didn't hear this in the other projects. So if this is what people are talking about in regards to this doesn't sound like her other project, it's kind of just like, well, yeah, it's good though. Like, don't say that it's not. So if you haven't heard the Snoh album, go check it out. Pretty much. So we still haven't gotten Donda yet. It is okay, because apparently Kanye is going to go and have a 3rd listening party in his hometown of Chicago. And it makes sense. He's taking Donda home. And, Twitter conspiracy theorists have a long version agenda of why he's doing it, because he's taking it to home something. What's the name of the field that he's having it at?
Wrigley Field. I'm guessing if it's a baseball stadium. Is Wrigley Field the Chicago Cubs? I want to say so, but I don't know if he's a Chicago White fan.
I am not sure. But it's I think it's called like home something, or I am not sure, but it is like it's called Live at Soldier Field. He is a soldier. Yeah, someone went into like this whole rant about like the meaning behind him doing it there, and I just think that are those how much the tickets cost to go to the listening party?
I don't see the 5,000 ones, but I'm seeing 400, kind of in that 100 section.
That is, I'm looking on the left of the screen of that Hav is looking at, and I'm looking at the ticket sales for the Donda listening party in Chicago, and I'm seeing what my eyes are allowing me to see. At least I'm seeing, no, that looks 304.
204, but that you're at the 300 section. If you want to be 100, a little almost center stage, is about $500.
That's crazy.
$600 on the left side. If you're looking at, well, I don't know, from the opposite side of what I said. But yeah, you trying to go? Quick flight to journalistic duties. Put in our taxes. Dang, $600.
That's expensive for him to not perform.
But I mean, you saw him. He kind of performed.
In the second one he did. In the first one, that was a drag. Like, he was just, like, walking around the circle. The second one looked a little more cooler, I will say. But I'm not taking a fucking... that's, like, $800.
But it's Kanye.
That's $800. I'm trying to get the sneaker game up.
That's a couple of sneakers right there. Yeah.
That's like what, like 3
valid.
or 4 pairs that I can get.
I mean, depending
at
on what,
least.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay if I have $800 and I'm gonna get like $800 worth of shoes. I'm gonna get
at least
probably at least 2 of them are gonna be over 200.
Facts.
Like, I'm gonna give myself that luxury, you know what I mean? So
because it's a shoe that you want.
Exactly. And I would be just like, because now I have my eye on them. I have my eye on a couple of these expensive shoes now, because we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
it's no middle of the mall shit.
It's no what?
Middle of the mall shit.
Yeah, Hob kept bugging me about that. But then every time I went to the mall, I never found shoes I liked, because like I always felt like I could just walk in and just be like, oh, I like these, and then it'll be like, I don't like any of these, and I'll feel like I was just wasting my time. So
before we get away too much music, I wanted to mention that Aaliyah's 1 in a Million album is now available for streaming. Make sure you go check that out. Also, Trippie Redd dropped his album, Trip in a Night. I've listened to a couple of songs, not a full. full listen, but I heard great things, so go ahead and check that out. We've already talked about Division. I do want to talk about Young Thug dropping this TikTok because I heard it from his NPR, Tiny Desk. Is it NPR that does that?
Yeah.
It's not. It is NPR?
Mm-hmm.
The Tiny Desk live concert shit that he did it with. Really excited, really excited for that next project from Thugger. But yeah.
The Isley Brothers did a Tiny Desk, guys, and it was amazing.
That's very true.
So I was really excited when I saw it because I was like, wait a minute, they really got the Isley Brothers to do the Tiny Desk. And what made me the most excited was because I saw the verses. Like, I saw the Earth, Wind, and Fire and Isley Brothers verses. And my favorite thing of the entire verses is Ernie Isley playing the guitar and like really appreciating the way that he plays it. And they always have like these really cool stories. Like, a lot of people don't know that these artists, like, they have known each other for all of these years. They have seen each other like have kids, like even before meeting their partners and like sleeping on each other's couches. Like, they shared a story about Jimi Hendrix and how he was living in their house and things like that. And you know, Ernie's a really good guitar player, so. And then Ernie plays the guitar during, you know, the tiny desk, which he did during the verses. And so that to me was just like really exciting. And because they have a song that like I'm absolutely in love with, and another one of my wedding songs. It's funny. I have wedding songs because like I've always since I've been a kid, I always remember being like, oh, that could be like a cute wedding song, or that could be, you know, I always thought like, there's like an NSYNC song. I don't remember the name right now and I don't want to butcher it. So there's one, oh, God must have spent a little more time on you. That's such a cute song, but it's kind of like about a mom. So I don't know. But when I was younger, that's what I thought, like, you know, so that mindset of mine hasn't really left. Cause you know, a girl can only dream that she'll find her Prince Charming and then get married at Disney. So, but yeah, so the Tiny Desk was amazing. Make sure that you check it out, especially if you're, you know, a big music fan or whatnot. And Isley Brothers, or just even if you want to like listen to their music for the first time, I feel like that was just such a perfect introduction to them because it's only 12 minutes long. Like, yeah. That's,
I don't know if they're making it more poignant to do like shorter pieces of content.
Yeah, because
the Thugger one wasn't too long either.
They're usually like 30 minutes.
Yeah, usually.
It's either 30 or under. I know that the Giveon one was like 15 minutes. So
I'm here for the shorter ones. So sometimes, yeah, you don't.
How long is the Ari one? That's one of my favorite ones.
It's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The Mac Miller one of my favorite ones, 17.
Yeah, the Ari Lennox one is really good. One of my favorites also is the Chloe and Halle. I also love the Sir one for sure. Oh, and the Summer Walker, as much people talk shit about how she kind of like doesn't do that good in performances. That's neither here nor there. Of course, Tiny Desk. I love Tiny Desk. So shout out to them for having the Isley Brothers on their show.
I didn't know that Ozuna had one.
I didn't know that either. Might have to check that one out because I've seen Ozuna perform before and he's really good. I really enjoyed watching him perform. So, of course, you know, can't go wrong with reggaeton. So, we're going to... Is there anything else with music?
Real quick. Well, this is someone said this to me. They said that reggaetoneras, which is basically like female Latin rappers, you could say, like, on how they don't make it and how like they don't really get that hit song. What would you say to that? Because I was like, I mean, you have like, but Becky G's more like of a singer than Karol G. She does do a little bit of that, but they're almost like that singer rapper type of thing more than they are a rapper. It's not like
how Ivy Queen was.
Then I also mentioned that. I was like, the one I guess we could say is that, but then also like she had
she's still fighting for like the crown almost, I feel.
And I feel like she didn't, or it didn't happen what was happening with Bad Bunny, which is happening with Ozuna, with J Balvin, with
yeah, well, that's because,
you know, a bunch of these other guys who kind of like, I feel like are a little bit more part of American culture almost too, like, or pop culture, I would say.
Yeah.
That's because what?
In the Latin industry, there are still like, there's machismo, you know, there's there's still that stigma of like men being more than women. And so, I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of what it could be, because I know that they open their arms to like women, like, you know, because the last thing that they want to hear, I feel, is like, because like what Bad Bunny raps about, if like you listen to those lyrics, or like even what J Balvin raps about, like there's just certain things that it's just like, una mujer no debería de hablar así, you know, like that's how people think. So I think that could be a really big reason as to why, because
I got you. It's the same thing what we were saying about women rap, of like not.
yeah, it's just like men aren't trying to hear that. And then women kind of, it's kind of like they get judged for liking it. You know, it's just kind of like, why are you listening to that vulgar stuff? But if a man is saying it, then it's okay. You know, it's okay that you listen to Bad Bunny, even though he says like the most vulgar things in his songs, but let it be a woman, and it's looked at in a wrong way. So
Y'all be liking that vulgar shit though too. But
no. I never said that we don't. I'm not saying that we don't. We do like it. What I'm saying is that there's a stigma, at least in the Latin community, because I can only speak for mine.
right.
And in that sense of like, a woman shouldn't be talking like that.
But America's gonna embrace you either way. Like it's separating a little bit of the Latino thing, just because I'm just looking at it on the other side, or on the English side, on where we're having the woman basically run the game right now.
I mean, women in hip hop aren't even really running the game either.
But no, I'm saying that I just said that they do.
That women in hip hop do?
Yeah, that they're I think a female rapper right now is at a higher value, or you sign a female rapper before you sign a male rapper right now.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. I can't really speak so much on that. Okay, so let's keep going. So we talked about Aaliyah's 1 in a Million hitting DSPs. Let's keep talking about music then. So I have Anderson .Paak with the at he have
Anderson .Paak
Anderson
with a new tattoo.
.Paak, he got a new tattoo, and it's basically saying don't fucking drop music of mine without like don't drop any of my music when I die, basically. So the tattoo basically says, when I'm gone, please don't release any posthumous albums or songs. I read bums, so I was like, damn, they done messed up his tattoo. Albums or songs with my name attached. Those were just demos and never intended to be heard by the public. Jav, you're somebody who is in music. How do you feel about this?
I almost feel the same exact way, because there's sometimes some songs that some people but I am open to playing stuff for people and seeing how they feel about it. If especially if I'm on the fence about something. But if I'm on the fence about something, or I don't like it, like Spitz would be the first one to tell you, like, especially with that first project that we did, we recorded over probably 50, 60 songs, and there's a lot of songs that he probably wanted on there, or that he liked, or, you know, he killed his verse, and I'll be the first to admit that he did. But I didn't feel comfortable with releasing it. You know, hooks that he loved, you know, that I've done or whatever like that. There's songs that I do even today. That's why I record such at a high volume, because I have to be in love with it, basically. So I feel him. You know, I would want the like.
But would you can't just put it in a will. You have to do it as a tattoo.
Oh, okay. Well, that's another thing. Well, no, maybe but that's how strongly he feels about it. That it's on his body.
Yeah. I feel like
it's not like he confided in his sister or his significant other. He basically said, "Nah, I'm gonna put this on my body. So if they do it, they know that I did not fuck with this. No, you know what I mean? Like now, if Anderson .Paak posthumous album comes out, we canceling that record company.
For real, that's a fact. I mean, to me, listen, get tattooed, whatever the fuck you want to get tattooed. Like, I do not care.
But sometimes as artists, and we were talking about this, me and Spitz, sometimes you record something last year, right? Or you record something earlier this year and it don't get released until next year. I have projects that are already set with track list. If I have that file and you have that file and y'all choose to release that, okay, cool, because I signed off on those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have those. They just need to get mixed, masters, clearances, you know, this and that, paying this, paying that, all that. So that I'll be cool with that. But you taking this, you taking that. I also heard, or through the grapevine, Pop Smoke's
Doesn't have any more music.
close friend said that they're kind of dry on new music from him. Which then says, well,
Someone said
why'd you bust the whole clip then?
Someone said now he can rest in peace. Y'all done got my dog working even from heaven. That's crazy. So don't drop Anderson .Paak's music. I was listening to
Well, that new song "Skate" is I mean, I loved it when I first heard it, but now it's just growing on me even more.
that big because he's on the Big Sean project. It's him, Sean, and Wale in a song, and I just heard him, and I was just like, damn, this dude is so talented. I thought that the song was from his album, and I was just like, no, that's not that song. And then when I finally looked, I was just like, oh, no wonder. Sometimes you be having your phone on shuffle and you're just like, oh shit, I didn't know that I really like this song. We were talking about that, how I remember about like, oh shit, this girl got good taste. Okay, so the last thing that we wanted to talk about music was Wayne did an interview recently, and the topic of like, being popular and things like that came up, and he shared, let me just bring it up real quick. He basically shared how he feels. I just want to make sure, guys, I'm sorry.
He basically was just mentioning about how after the cheers, after the get off the tour bus or get to the hotel, about just feeling alone, because you're alone. And if you're spoiled or you're new to this life, you're going to spend a lot of time alone.
Yeah. So it's basically like the headline reads, Lil Wayne talks about being popular but still feeling alone. So basically what Hav said, it was just driving me crazy. I wanted to read what the headline said.
To me, it's not so much what but go ahead.
Well, no, I know it's not so much what the headline says, but that is what the headline is. That's what it's basically the question of it. But what comes from the answer from Lil Wayne is so powerful, because you don't really realize that as a fan or as an outsider looking in. You just see the popularity. You just see the lights in front of him. You just see the great artist that Lil Wayne is. And you hear him talking about, like, it's not even about what I do as an artist. It's just like, who am I going to be remembered as? Just like him, like as him being just the person that he is and things like that. So what else was it that you wanted to share about the interview, Hav?
No, yeah, basically that point of what am I going to be remembered for? Like me, the person, not about what I did, not about the music that I made and this and that.
The
and
album sales, all of that.
All that stuff, Grammy Award winning, none of that. Just like who, like what I'm going to be remembered for, or who's going to remember me, and why are they going to remember me? And, kind of like, because I think that's something that we all could relate to. And I don't know if it's my Libra brother, just, thinking a little bit on the same streamline of thought. Basically, like, right, like you think about that, like, who am I, like the person, like not everything that I've done, just like what are people gonna say about me?
Yeah.
Or not like in a negative way, just more like what are they gonna say about my character, on any type of level.
On any type of level, yeah.
And not so much on like, oh, he did this, he did that. No, like that's everything aside. Just more like, who am I and what type of friend was I type shit. Speaking of what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Something that he said was kind of like, it's the lights, the cameras, the everything, the fans, all the people. And then he like goes into the bus and it's just like him by himself with his thoughts. And that's something that for some people, it's really scary to be alone in your own thoughts. Why? Because sometimes our thoughts are very toxic. Sometimes we're the toxic ones in our lives. And that is something that I also related to, was like kind of like being so much in your head that you start to talk yourself out of greatness. And that's something that you kind of have to let go and work with, because like how he said, it's like, it's your mental health. It's where your mind is. And then, so just being mindful of that. And yeah, it's just, it puts a lot of things into perspective. It was a really good clip to listen to before we started the podcast, because sometimes you don't always feel like you're doing enough, you know?
Another part of it is that on my story, you see me having fun, dancing on stage, all this and that. Like I say that, that's a low key flex. But right, you know, you see all that. You see the highlight reel basically of what it is, and then but you don't see me in this room, you know, no lights on, lights off, you know, type thing.
Like
working, getting a new song in, you know, doing the work, you know, doing the work, and there's not. You know, sometimes I'm here alone, you know, so then there's no one there.
Yeah, it's just
you know, it's just me, the music, and my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever the grace of God want to bless me with at that time. So like,
yeah, that's like what I was talking about this. I can definitely relate to it when it comes to the podcast because, of course, like the light is in front of me. When you walk into this room, if you've ever been in here, you know. If you don't, you walk into this room and you automatically feel like you're in a studio. So I automatically go, or even I know how strictly goes into, we're here to create something in this room, whether it be music, whether it be the podcast, or whatever it may be. But then again, people only see the end result. They only see the hour-long episode. They only see the clips that we post for you guys, or they don't see the days that I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. They don't see the days where I have absolutely no energy to do the podcast, and they don't see the days where I'm kind of like I'm just done, you know, like where there's the lack of motivation and like having to talk to yourself back into the mindset of wanting to do something that you know you're very passionate about. And this actually is perfect because this brings me into the next subject of the KD. It wasn't the KD, but it was Melo on All the Smoke. So Melo was on All the Smoke, their 100th episode. And something that he said was along the lines of like, before he went to the Blazers, he was at a point where he felt like basketball didn't love him back. So for him, he was just like, once I felt like basketball wasn't loving me back, I was kind of like ready to just leave it, you know. But then he started like his son plays, so he started being around his son and his teammates and playing more, and you know, it started to become a little bit more fun for him. And you know, he started to feel like the game loved him. He end up getting picked up by the Trailblazers, and he ends up having a really good season there. You know, they made it to the playoffs, right?
Or they made it to the play-in.
The what?
Like the play-in, like to play into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I want to say that they did make it to the playoffs, because I remember being like, oh shit, my dog about to get it right. So, him saying that, like, it resonated with me so much this week, and like for him to really talk about that and really like open up about something that, you know, we all know him for. Like, I've known Melo since he played in Syracuse. That was 20 years ago or something like that. So that's how long I've known this person. Well, not personally, but like I've been following his career since then, or at least have always like known about him. So to like hear somebody say that, and I've heard other people say it in different like areas of, you know, whether it be music or whatever, that you feel like it doesn't love you back, but it's just like you just love it so much that you don't want to let it go, because you know it's the purpose that you were put on this earth for. So that to me resonated from that, you know, interview the most, was that. And also just like Melo just being Melo, you know, like he's so like nonchalant, and you kind of got to hear about, you know, how him and LeBron met and how they just formed a bond from the beginning, and now they're playing together. When they did the 100th episode, he wasn't signed to the Lakers yet. So, or maybe he was.
Maybe he knew he was.
Yeah, or maybe he knew, like, yeah, I'm, you know, or like, you know, because I feel like the players know sometimes, because of course they're in negotiations, and I would hope that they at least know, or, well, no, they don't know when they're getting traded. Never mind.
Well, they have a destination they prefer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so that was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. I really like All the Smoke. I really like All the Smoke. And then I heard the Jermaine O'Neal episode, and man, that was a good episode to listen to after watching Malice in the Palace. Great episode to listen to after that, because you got to kind of hear a little bit more candidness from both of them, from Stack and from Jermaine O'Neal. And you got to hear like a little bit more wild stories from like them on the road and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Stack has like a lot of those stories, man.
Like,
Talked about getting run over by a car one night. I don't know if you talked about that.
it's just so crazy. Like, cause like me, at least for I can only speak for myself. Like for me, I just saw a lot of these players just play basketball, be the greats that they are. You know what I mean? Like you kind of forget that they're actually people because you just look at them like almost like superstars, which they are. They are superstar status basically. So to like hear like, you know, stories that your homeboys would get into or like shit that like, you know, somebody that did that. And it's just like, dang, this man was making all of this money and he was doing this crazy ass shit. So the Melo one was good. The Jermaine O'Neal one, I was watching the Steph Curry one before, as I was getting ready. Actually, as I was getting ready, I was watching the KD and Draymond Green interview that they did. And that's for Draymond Green's show, right? Chip? Is it Chip?
Yeah, Chip.
It's just called Chip.
Yeah, it's a show for Bleacher Report.
Yeah, it is for Bleacher Report. Really good show. I kind of like what it is because you always hear that about basketball players or like, you know, anybody almost, that they work with a chip on their shoulder. So, of course, we all know KD has a couple chips on his shoulder as well as championships.
Salute. Keep on. My bad. ISO. Keep on cooking. Keep on cooking.
So I really enjoyed that because, well, they were teammates at one point, and there was always like a part where, you know, they had beef at one point. So for them to have had that, you know, uncandid conversation, and you don't always get to hear from KD. I do though, because that's my man. But listen, till the day I die, I think I'm gonna always have like a man that's in the NBA because I've loved a basketball player for as long as I can remember. Like it just never ends. So, but yeah. So KD, did you watched it, Hav?
Yes, I did.
What was your favorite part from it? Well, I mean, you were the one who told me to watch it, so because I guess because you knew it was good.
My favorite part, honestly, and it hadn't probably nothing that they discussed. Well, I guess if I had to pick one, was really them talking about, of course, the Warriors and how that happened. I felt like they were both as candid that they could possibly be on there. There's even some debate. I know that they talked to Skip. No one listens to Skip. Stephen A.
I hadn't followed him.
Stephen A. and Max basically on First Take were talking about, did he hurt his relationship with ownership there, with Draymond being that candid, you know what I mean, during that interview. But really what I liked about it the most was that,
well, Draymond doesn't care. Continue.
They're doing this now rather than 20. You know, I love all the smoke and I think this is actually a point that Stephen A made or maybe that they did, but I thought it was such a great one. That we're not getting this in the Last Dance. You know, we don't have to wait until that, you know, to that, or like what I love all the smoke, the Knuckleheads podcast, you know, but sometimes it's like not that it's too late because we still want to hear these stories, you know, Jermaine O'Neal, Gilbert Arenas, you know, things that happen in the locker room, that locker room talk that we get to receive on those platforms. But it's like these guys, like those are guys who already are kind of out of the game a little bit, and then and to me, it's always been like, oh, is it because now they're not in the NBA they get to talk like this now?
Yeah.
You know, but then now it's showing this whole player development or how the league's changing. Players being more, having more freedom, you know, more of a say, you know, rather than just like they just play basketball. They don't know if they're going to get traded. They can't talk outside of playing. You know, these guys were Olympians. They just were playing just teammates again for USA. So just hearing them talk about it now, and that they're both kind of, you know, the Warriors kind of could debate that they could make a run for it, and the Nets are a clear-cut top favorite to be in the finals this coming season.
For the Eastern Conference.
So
definitely.
So it's like, wow, we get to hear it like while we're still in the trenches kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the things that I also liked was the last season that I guess KD played in, Draymond asked him kind of like, you kind of knew you were leaving, you know, so did you, I can't remember specifically what it was. I just remember what KD said. Because it was a lot. It was like that last year of him leaving. So he kind of like knew that he was leaving type of thing. So like, it's kind of like people were making it out to seem like he didn't care. Like, I'm leaving anyway type of thing. And he's just like, no, but like I played all of the games. You know, like if that's what I was thinking, I wouldn't have played all of the games. And that's something that I think is commendable because, I mean, I saw in the playoffs, like how he played and that night that he almost scored the 50 points. And, you know, even him talking about like coming in second when it came to this season right now, because that would have taken him to the finals, that game. You know, that playoff game against the Bucks, if they would have won that, they would have won. You don't think so? They would have won. For a fact. The Eastern Conference had it this year. I'm sorry, West Coast, love y'all. But if the Lakers, I'm sorry, the Lakers didn't make it, I don't know what to tell you. Or the Lakers, the Warriors, listen, I don't know what to tell you. So that was something that I really enjoyed listening to because I just felt like it was very powerful to hear. And I agree with what Hav is saying, as well as like, because they were talking about even like Katie's burner account and how he had one. And then eventually it just got to the point that he was just tweeting it from his account. And one of my favorite people on Twitter is actually Katie because of how he claps back at people. Like, he doesn't give a fuck who you are. He's going to clap back however the fuck he wants. And then that's also another clip that I saw of Draymond was like him trash talking and like all that stuff and telling like Paul Pierce that he's not Kobe. Like, all of this shit. Like, that shit is hilarious. Gotta love basketball.
Another one that I like, because sometimes I feel like I not go through this or like it could seem like this. What KD was talking about, like they were talking about that year and how everyone was kind of on him. Or like, oh man, is he upset? Is he, you know, like, and he was just saying, like, I was having the most fun because I was so locked in. Yeah. You know, I was extremely just locked in and laser focused that, yeah, I didn't have that smile on or that happy-go-lucky, like, you know, that happy-go-lucky is kind of like I know what it takes. And now I know I'm going to do everything to get there, you know, right? I know this, and that. So I loved that aspect because, you know, being a person who freaking smiles when they get uncomfortable or smiles when, you know, this, you know, the side of the wall, you know, sometimes if I don't have that smile on, it gets questioned as if I'm upset or was something wrong. And sometimes it's just that, like, I'm, well, overthinking. No, I'm kidding. But also just like focus.
You don't know, but I'm having a meeting in my head.
You know, I'm like super focused on an idea or a train of thought.
Yeah. So it was a great interview. Check that out, guys. I feel like a lot with these, like athletes having their own platforms and things like that. I think it's great because you get to see, like how I was saying earlier, you get to see the human side. And I think that the human side, because we're all humans first, like,
and foremost.
Yeah, it doesn't matter like how much money you make, what you do, nothing. Like, you're a human being. Like, that's the first thing. So, and you have feelings and you hurt and you cry and you laugh and you know, go through whatever it is that you go through. So that's one of the things that I love about this and even other shows. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out.
Check it out.
So I wanted to talk about Mr. Flight, aka Mr. Feel Good, aka Shay, aka One Way Flight,
aka he's been on the podcast 3 times.
Four.
One of the most recurring guests that we have here.
Cause he did the first episode at one. Well, like everybody, like at Complex, the studio. Shout out to Complex, and also he came again here. And then he did 2 episodes with us at EFN Studios. So
because he did both of them with us.
Both of the episodes
he did a solo and then we did the one with 4 of us.
Right. That was fun. So I just wanted to say, like, shout out to him. He was a headliner this week at Roots Kava, and it was so dope. I was so proud. This is a guy that I have, since we first started going to Miami Live, I had seen him perform and saw that he always took it very seriousit. Like, I know this guy's mom, joking around with her. She was wide open. And you know, she, like, you know his family, like, met his daughter. Like, this is somebody who, like, I know is super passionate about what he does, so I'm just like so proud of him. His girl presented him with a plaque with some of like the lyrics of his song, and because he just does so much for everybody. And something that I thought was so beautiful, besides the dancers that he had, because my dog had dancers and everything, was that he did a lot of his featured songs that have features. So a lot of people went and like performed, like Hav got on stage and performed this Groove. That song was stuck in my head for like 2 days straight. I couldn't stop. Like I just kept hearing it in my head over and over because the performance was so dope. And it was just a great night. I feel like just being, like I said, I'm just proud to like be in the presence of somebody who just goes for what they want. And that's something that I just want to surround myself with. I want to surround myself with people who are driven in that way. So shout out to him.
Someone who is the embodiment of the Ambition Hour guest.
Yes. And I want to share something that he told me. Was he basically said, like, you inspire me so much to just be myself. And it's funny because to me, like, I'm just being myself. I'm just being myself. And then people get so inspired by that. And that to me is so crazy. Like, I can't, like, that never like ceases to amaze me. Like, it always amazes me when somebody is just like, you know what? Like, you just inspire me so much to like just be myself and to like, do what I want and follow what it is that I want to do and like be ambitious and like all of these different things. And to me, I'm like, wow, like, I know that's my purpose in life. So that's why, like, to me, like, it's just like, no, I'm just doing what I need to do over here. Like, and I'm happy that it's doing that for you because that's what I'm here for. Like, I know that's what I'm here for, to inspire other people. Like, that's what God told me. God was like, girl, you need to inspire people. And how you gonna do it? By doing you. And I was like, all right, bet. Let me get this podcast started. So I wanted to bring that up because, guys, it's so important to just be yourself. Like, just be you.
And know thyself.
And just know yourself. And something that Hav and I, he shared something with me. And it was something about, like...
Don't get me indicted now.
No. It was something. It was something along the lines of like how sometimes you don't always feel your best self, but it's not how you feel. It's what you do or something like that, right?
Yeah. Basically, it's Sometimes that we're not like completely crazy about ourselves. Like, we're not in love.
Yes.
With ourselves, and that's okay. You're allowed to feel that way.
Yeah.
Rather than sometimes we get upset that we're upset at ourselves.
Yeah.
Where
we
it's
have
like,
to be kinder to ourselves.
Right. It goes back to what you were saying earlier of like, we would say shit to us that our friends would never say. That's why when we talk to our friends and we tell them some shit, they'll be like, yo, but you're tripping. You know what I mean? Or like, man, you really think that? Like, you really gonna allow Google to tell you that you're crazy?
Yeah.
Like, or like, nah, like, come on, bro, but you're like the shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, you're right. I am the shit.
Right. And that's something to me. Listen, I'm a bad bitch inside and out, okay? So there's times where, like, I sometimes don't feel hot, don't feel myself, don't feel like I'm the shit, don't feel like nothing. But at the end of the day, and when I wake up, I'm a bad bitch. So I just cannot, like, continue living in a world where I lower myself to that. So sometimes I snap out of it very quickly. There's days, sometimes you just gotta feel, man. Period. Like, you just gotta feel what you're going through, let it pass, and that's it. Kind of like, when you're like super fucking high and you're like, holy fucking shit, when the fuck is this gonna end?
Gee willikers, Batman.
And you're just high for like hours and hours, and then it passes. You take a little stoner nap and then you wake up and you're good. Sometimes listen, all I'm gonna say is that sometimes all you need is just a nap. I know I am due for a nap. Like, I have not slept good, and that is not good.
I want to sleep in, but we got a fucking vet appointment.
I wish I could sleep in, but I have a child who wakes up on time every single day. Like, it never fails, and I just cannot wait for the day where she just wakes up. Maybe, like, I want, like, at least 8:30 every day. But then I feel like my mornings wouldn't be as productive. I wouldn't do as much. And 8:30, like thinking about it, and I like the routine I have.
I want 8:30 on weekends. Can we do that?
Can we get 9?
I'm about to take her out when we're done with this.
I remember when I was in Jersey, I was just like, oh shit, I don't gotta wake up to take payout both days, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was a little earlier. Sunday, listen, they had to text me talking about where you are you up? Are you good? Because I was like basking in on like just not having, like being alone, literally. So guys, be yourself. It is okay. Now, with being yourself comes with being hard on yourself because when you are yourself, you're going to criticize yourself and you're going to look at how life is, where it's going wrong. How is it going wrong? Everything seems to be going wrong at that same time. So you start being hard on yourself. You start being like, dang, like, look at where I am. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I'm supposed to be way higher than this. I'm supposed to have accomplished so much more. And like, you just start like, look at where this person is and look at how far this person has gone. And why haven't I gone there? And what, there's just so much. Like, I did that on purpose.
Yeah,
because,
I know.
because like, you just sometimes like, you're just so hard on yourself that like, you fucking go crazy. I'm not speaking from experience. But I mean, I'm definitely speaking from experience because I definitely have been feeling that this past week. Like, I just feel like, you know, I'm just being so hard on myself and I've been so hard on myself. And then other things happen in my life that I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's true. I am not enough and I'm not doing enough. And I am not I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And there's just so much more to life than this. And just being so hard on yourself. So I ended up posting something on Instagram because I just feel like it's so important. And I think that it's important to share with you guys, is there is a past version of you that is so proud of how far you have come. Guys, listen, Jav and I were having a conversation this past week and it was along the lines of, social media. Remember, we were talking about social media and how, something about like girls posting like nice pictures or whatever, and then they're like, but they're actually depressed or something like that. Do you remember that conversation? Was it that? I felt like it was along those lines.
I think it was along those lines, or just kind of.
It was like IG baddies, but they're really depressed or something like that.
Yeah. What was it that?
Yeah, because then I told you, I was just like, oh, this is like, you're talking to somebody who was faking like her whole happiness on social media for some time.
Right. I think it's because it was either bae or like a dog kind of thing. Is just like them being perfect.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like that. Or they're being calm, and then like, oh, when it's not happening or they're not like in pictures, it's just like complete chaos.
Well, because I only post the cute shit. I'm not gonna post when she's about to fucking attack me. like that's not cute, you know. So. Or that's not how a golden retriever, you know, behaves, or, you know, an IG dog, or even like for these women, like these women are possibly going through, because there's some women who suffer from depression of being single, from not having kids, from not having enough friends. Some of these women actually, if you think about some of these women, some of them are from small towns and they're moving to these big cities away from their families. So they're dealing with the scrutiny of social media as well as whatever personal things they may be going through as well. You don't really realize that because they are just showing you the highlight reel. They are showing you the perfect parts because it's social media. Like nobody wants to see like sad or like hear about depressed shit. And so I was telling Jav, I'm like, yeah, like, listen, like I was that person. Like I was faking this. I was faking that. Like I was a mess, you know, but you would have never known because my social media just made it seem like everything was perfect. There's some pictures that you can possibly see from that time, but for the most part, they're all archived in my Instagram because I don't ever want to forget those times or like get rid of those pictures, you know, because at one point those were parts of my life that I can always look back and be like, dang, I really was not happy then. But that girl at that time would be so proud of the woman that I am now. Like absolutely proud because it's just like you got out of that hole. You did what you wanted to do, what you always knew you wanted to do. You have done a podcast, like 174 episodes. You know, you just saw a good friend of yours headline, and then the week before you saw your other good friend of yours headline, and you know,
Talk one way.
Yeah, exactly. And then not only that, but like a friend of yours actually performed in a different city, got on a plane to perform in a different city. Didn't invite us, but it's okay.
The Lord dealt with him in other ways. No.
Exactly. Exactly. No, let me stop. Hi, Spitz. Love you. And so, like, yeah. So when I think about that and I think about all of these things, it's kind of like, listen, even something as little as like going to Disney, guys. I love Disney. And I remember in that time of my life when I was broke, unhappy, lying like a motherfucker on social media, I remember being like, bruh, I just want a motherfucking Disney annual pass. Like, I just want to be able to go to Disney whenever I want. Like, and I wanted that so bad. And like, I am that girl now. And then even like with Bae, like having that, and like, I always think about like my 8-year-old self being super proud of that. Like just being like, dang, bitch, you got the fucking golden. Like, that's so dope, you know? Like, can I pet it? Type of thing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you always have to like appreciate where it is that you are so that you can continue to go and take initiative for what it is that you want in your life, you know? You have to feel like what you're doing it with all the initiative in your heart. It has to come from your heart, because if it doesn't come from your heart, it's not going to be genuine. And people feel that. People feel when it's not genuine. People can sense it because you are straight up not doing it with any intention to move forward or to progress. You're just doing it to do it and going through the motions. So when it comes to your life, make sure that you take initiative. When it comes to your dreams, make sure you take initiative. Your passion, take initiative. And listen, don't listen to other people's bars of initiative. Like whatever standard it is that they have for the initiative that you should be putting, don't. Like, yeah, like your initiative has to come from you, from your heart, because it ain't gonna work. Okay.
So the loving ain't the same.
Wait, what song is that?
Don't, Bryson.
Oh,
Because I said don't.
Yeah. Something that I keep saying is I'm the type of person that when I don't care, I don't care. Like,
what you do, you put your right shoulder up, your left shoulder up, and I just drop them. Because I don't care.
I just like when I don't care, I don't care. And when somebody notices that I don't care, oh, that means I really don't give a fuck. And that's one of the reasons why some of the relationships that I've had have failed, because I don't care to the point that I don't say anything about it and just kind of like go through the motions. And so that's something that I'm coming into, you know, learn of myself, because listen, guys, life is a constant fucking, it's a test. Like every single day of your life is like a test. Are you going to pass it or not? And there's some days where I fail that shit, but listen, I was not the best student in school. So me being tested every single day ain't gonna work either. So we just gonna work through it.
Only way we can.
You just got to keep going, one foot in front of the other, as they say. Mm-hmm. I feel.
Make sure your mask is on.
Make sure your mask is on. I want to talk. I didn't want to talk. This wasn't something that I want to talk about, but there's like a thing that's going around saying that they're like saying that kids have to wear masks to school and things like that, and it's just becoming mandatory and things. And me, as somebody who works in a field that involves kids and them going to school and things like that, and guys, I feel that when it comes to school, kids should be wearing a mask, because kids are germs are us. And they don't wash their hands. They are not cautious. And then this variant of the virus is actually getting these kids sick, younger kids, teenagers, things like that. They're probably going to drop the vaccine age a little lower even so that way younger kids can get it. But there's just a lot when it comes to like the mask and the vaccine and all of that stuff. And I say all of that to say this, guys, we are still in a pandemic. Please make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, drink your water, and mind your business. And for the 174th time in a row, it's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airways with my co-host, House 600. And we are out of here. Literally. The battery's exhausted.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's
we out,
the
bitch.
ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
I know that's right.